And as you connect with him fully, connect with your heart to this beautiful eagle. Tell me more about what it is that he wants to tell us today.
As if really to say, but not just to me, but to all souls, that this kingdom, showing me this place that we're in, this kingdom is yours. This is heaven on earth. And this place, this, I don't know if it's the feeling of the place or the actual place, is where we all belong, and that we don't have to be there to know that, to feel that, to be in that place when we're back on the earth plane. That can be our go-to place within seconds, but I'm then being shown this as if a huge brick wall has come down in between he and I, but I'm not concerned about that. He's just presenting this wall to me. And then I'm seeing the whole wall just, it's as if he just flapped his wings, and they were huge now. And as if the wall just came crumbling down. And that we have to understand that, you know, this wall has been built there, and that we are the ones, you know, not to think of, to see it as a wall, a brick cemented wall that is keeping us out, but to know that this wall can be like breadcrumbs. They can just, you can just touch it and the whole thing will dissolve into crumbs. But we're so conditioned to believe that it is a brick wall there. And so, you know, people are trying to get through with hammers and, you know, diggers, anything to try and break this wall down. And it really, really, really isn't that difficult at all. It's just literally just, you can just touch it and the whole thing will just dissolve, to allow us to so freely be in touch with home.
Yes. And can this eagle help us today, those of us that are on the earth plane? Can this eagle help us to see how we can access that place? What it is that we need to do to make that wall come down?
I'm seeing as if, you know, knocking on your forehead. It's like a combination of, you know, wake up, knocking on your forehead, as well as activating the part of your mind that can take you there. And we're just so conditioned to believe that there's only the few that are able to do this, and we're all able to do this. It's not about believing you can do this, or it's only for the highly awakened. It is knowing that this is who you are, that the human body is just the vehicle for us to be here at this time and experience all that we are here to experience, but there is no reason at all, apart from our conditioning, that we can't connect so easily with this higher knowing, this higher piece of ourselves, where all information can come through. We just believe that we're not worthy enough, or we're not awake enough, or enlightened enough. And we all are, because we all come from that place. So it's a matter of of each one for themselves breaking down that wall, and knowing that that place is our home, and that's where we come from. So why would we not be able to get there? Why would we not be able to remember it? Because we are conditioned to not. And this is why the message from so many is to remember who you are. And remembering who you are is your light, because when you are not in the human flesh, you are the light. So not to let the human being, the downtrodden part of your mind, win. You have to, I'm seeing a little flower as just growing out of the earth, and it's a little seed, and then it comes up and blossoms into this flower, and that's what you know that you can be through. Once it's like it's coming through the knocked down wall. The wall's knocked down, and through that all things can grow and blossom. And it's mind over matter. It's knowing that you can do it, and not to be afraid or consider yourself not capable.
Yes. And can the eagle tell us today why it is that we choose to come to a place like Earth, why we choose to leave the place where we are light, where it is wonderful, and come to Earth and experience this human body?
There have been so many different reasons for one soul to divide into many, to do so, depending on the soul's particular journey, the soul's desire, the soul's wanting to be more of itself. So throughout time, if we talk of time, many are having what they consider to be separate experiences. But because there is only one light energy, I'm showing a light ball, a sphere of light, and everything, everyone, every being, everything is moving within that sphere, all now, all happening together. But then there's a focus, as if a light beam has gone onto one particular place. And so we are going to speak of now, and the position that souls in human form are experiencing in this time upon your planet Earth. And there's I'm seeing of a huge mire of mud really thick, gooey mud, as far as I can see. Yet out, coming up through that mud, are people, lots and lots of people, and they're coming out into the fresh air, and it's as if waiting for them, once they have the strength to pull themselves out, because they have to have it within themselves, that extra push, that extra strength. They have to find it within themselves to pull out of that mud. And it's as if, as they do so, just off to the side, it's like there's a shower. There's a shower waiting there, and it's just this rainbow water that just clears all the mud off. And as you look around, there's showers everywhere, and this is happening to all these souls. And as more and more, as you look around, as the rainbow water cleanses their being, it is also, as the water trickles down and around, it is also cleansing and taking away all the mud. And again, so the mud disappears and all these flowers are growing where the mud once was. And it's as if the mud had to be there as if you like, as the manure to seed the flowers, if you like, to give them that grounding. That mud had to be there. But then when it's gone, it's gone. It's not like it's underneath still festering. It's like when it's gone, but it had to be there. It was there for a reason. And then when it's gone, all these flowers and the sun, and it's like all these people are now they're showered and cleansed. They're just, everybody's just walking around recognizing each other and recognizing that they pulled it off.
Yes. Beautiful. And is the eagle able to tell us in terms of where we are in that process right now on Earth, in that process of the mud and the souls being in the mud and then cleaning themselves off and growing into those beautiful flowers of the universe? Is the eagle able to tell us today whereabouts in the process we are at the moment on Earth?
As I'm looking at that scene further back, there are already a large number of people, and they're presenting in white, lovely white robes, as I can see. But I know there's rainbow colours, and so there's already a large team. It's very important. There's a large team of souls that have already come out of this mud, and they're very experienced and settled and aware of their position and what is going on, what is taking place. And I would use the word higher council, but they're sort of staying over there at the back. But it's just like I can just see as people come out of the mud and get showered, and that it's as if other hands and arms and heads are beginning to stretch up through the mud, and the other people that are already there and showered, they're giving them a hand. They're taking their hand to help pull the others out. And this is like, it's as if it's like, I want to say D-Day. It's as if it's, whatever that is, it's as if it's like what the speed at which now, because the more people that come out and get showered down, the more there are to help pull more and more out of that mud. And so the speed of that is happening really, really intensely and really, really quickly. And I'm seeing that on at somewhere there is a place for people who are all showered off, but they're sitting there bewildered. It's as if there's a little place for them to go where they can just sit and rest, because they are so knocked out. They're just so bewildered is the word. They don't know what's going on, what they're doing there, and they really don't, there's over on the other side, there's these people as if as if they're on pogo sticks. They're so energetic, they're so raring to go. They're like, bring it on, bring it on. They're bouncing around with so much energy. There seems to be different sectors in this place, and different groups of people. It's like people just know which group to go in as they're pulled out of the mud and showered down. And as they're showered down, as this rainbow shower comes over them, it's just like the others would just say to them, hello, hello. It's like they've come out of a long sleep. And so that to be released from all that mud and to be able to be in this new place, it's like the feeling of almost, I say almost, being reborn.
Yes.
From one place, from this mud. It's their soul to come out. It's their soul release, and it's such a strong release and such a strong feeling, which is each one can feel, but until they feel it, it's very difficult to explain.
Yes.
But they will know, and they know where to go. They know which section is their place. And as I'm looking, there's many more groups, and each group has their particular role to play.
Yes.
According to their skills. And they're in each group, they're so excited to be with like-minded, not only like-minded souls of light, but like-minded because they're in that group for that, say if they're a scientist or whatever it might be, or this group is working with their hands, or this group is working with the heart, and they're all in their special groups because they're strong and united in their skills.
Yes. And you mentioned this large team of souls that are almost like a higher council, that are the ones that make it out first. Can you tell me more about those?
It's as if they sort of have their back to me, and yet they're in a circle, as if they're looking. I can't see their faces, and as if they are looking on a table type of thing. Strategies, as if as if it's a map, but I can't see it well enough to know if it is a map, but it's that kind of feeling, as if they are working out the strategies of how it's all going to unravel next, because nothing is set in stone, and because this is also new, and a new higher place of an experiment, if you like. So they are, it's not that they are concerned in any way at all. They're very highly top of the range intelligent souls. It's just that as this is all unfolding, then different places on this table, it's as if are being nodded at, and yes, from there to there to there to there. It's as if a whole new plan, now that so many have come through, is being put into place, and as if they're going to then be going to these groups to tell them what their particular role is to be. And as I'm watching that so strongly, the envelopes, there's envelopes, and as if one of these council members, each, I don't know how many, but each different ones of them go to the different groups. And I can't tell you how many groups because it's not being shown, but there's a lot. And it's as if these different members are going into these different groups and they're giving them each one an envelope. And I have to say, I feel the word symbolically there, but each person is so excited to open their envelope, and nobody else. What I'm seeing is as if some people are opening them, and yet they're blank. The envelopes are all blank. But each person, like as soon as they see it, they hold this envelope to their heart, because it's like I would say it's like magic. It's got lots of gold dust on this piece of paper, and yet it doesn't say anything. And yet each person, it's like personal to them, and they know. They're like, you know, this is the one I've got out of the drawer type of thing. This is what I've got. And everybody, there's nobody that's disappointed, because each soul has been assigned exactly what their soul was designed to do.
Yes. And so everybody gets this envelope, and when they open it, they instantly know what it is that they are supposed to do. And is there anything else that eagle or these beautiful light beings want to tell us about that today, about those envelopes?
I'm seeing the eagle above everything, and just very gently flapping its wings. And I am seeing a crown, a golden crown upon the eagle's head.
Yes.
I feel, if I wait a minute, there is a message to come from the eagle. So I will relay it. You come from the kingdom of heaven. You have taken the opportunity to be upon planet Earth in a time that has never been experienced before. You, each one, so desperately wanted to be part of those on the ground that had so much light to offer. And yes, you were chosen. And yes, you were chosen because you are the strongest ones. Never doubt yourself. Never question your light. Why would you do that? For it is you. It is who you are, what you are made up of. Light. The most beautiful light. You are it. Yet you are inside human form. But this does not take away the strength of your light. Only your confused minds make you feel that you are not one of the stronger soldiers. But you have to be one of the stronger light beings to be there to see this through. And you are. And yes, at times you feel you cannot lift your body from the floor. You feel that the darkness is pressing you down so you cannot lift up. But you know better. The light you are knows better. And with one breath, with one knowing, you can lift yourselves up. You can push that weight aside and you can rise up into the knowing of your truth. And each one of you will experience the knowing of the truth of light. And there is nothing, there is no force that is greater than the light that you are. See the glowing golden sun behind me, the eagle the protector, the chosen one to be the messenger this day. Dearest souls, all is well. All is well.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful message. It is much needed by us here on the ground, on planet Earth, at this time.
You see, where we are, we know it so differently from where you are. The vessel blossom in this moment can feel this knowing. There is no doubt within this knowing. There is nothing other than absolute confidence within this knowing that all is well. Not one question, not one doubt. Absolute knowing. And you, dearest souls of earth, need now to bring your beings into a higher place, into a higher vibrational frequency, which will allow your human being to let the soul that resides within to reach up to this higher knowing which we are trying to import. Because when you know it, never again will you sit and wonder what on earth is going on. Because on earth, within you, that singular individual you that is part of everything, will know what is going on. And may we add the feeling that comes with it as the bonus prize. The feeling of knowing love. The feeling of knowing that you as an individual can take the hands of so many as they reach out of the mud, and you grab their hand, and the minute they hold your hand, all fear disappears, and they know it is over. And as they are pulled out by you, they in turn can recognize themselves as you.
Yes. And may I ask today Tell me more about your connection to Blossom.
Oh, Blossom. We are showing an image of banging her on the head with a tennis racket, because sometimes she so unnecessarily gets strung up over the smallest things, which take away her strength. She was chosen, you know, for a very specific reason. Laughter, of course, laughter. But integrity. Many times that she has lived, she was a warrior for truth. And so it was inevitable that she would desire to be upon your planet at this time and play the role that we consider she plays so well. And yet, she considers herself to still be in the classroom, whereas in actual fact, she is more of a teacher than she herself chooses to recognize. And many upon the planet are not quite aware of, because of the position she is to step into as teacher. Of course, of course, of course, she is our friend. And of course, of course, of course, she is one of us. How could she not be? And when we say one of us, we are speaking of the Federation of Light. Why would we send one to Earth to communicate with us on such high levels of vibration if they were not one of us? It would seem a little absurd, would it not?
Yes. And so Blossom is a part of the Federation of Light.
Very much so.
And is there anything else that she needs to know about that?
Nothing other than the knowing of its truth.
Yes.
At times she knows. At other times she gets bogged down in the density of your earth plane.
Yes. In this realm, it is very difficult. And so many of us, we are asked continually to show people proof of the existence of these things that we speak of. And that is the struggle in our realm on the earth plane. Is there anything that you can tell Blossom about that today that she needs to know?
The proof of the pudding is in the eating, is it not? What proof? would one need in all regard, in all respect? Is it that one is one day hoping to catch sight of a light ship? Is it that one would desire a being from elsewhere to appear on camera? The only proof that any one soul desires is the knowing that they know. That is all the proof you need, and we are aware that may not be the answer you are looking for. But you are on the planet, dearest souls, to be examples of light. That is the proof. When you come across another soul that you recognize as light-filled, that is your proof. When you come across a kindness, when you look into the bluest eyes of a baby, that is your proof. Because the light is all there is. The light is made into 1,000 billion trillion formations, a number we cannot give. It presents itself as one wishes to see it. Dearest souls, we smile as we say to you, you are the only proof you are looking for if you were to truly understand that which we say within the deepest place of your heart.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful message. Is there anything else that you want to tell Blossom today? Or is there anything else that she needs to know about how she can connect with you in the future in a better and stronger way?
We wish her to understand that the role she was offered and duly accepted was known to her before she came. And she was made very much aware that it would not be of the easiest tasks offered. We say also that further down the track, she will, on our behalf, once again be asked to step completely out of her comfort zone. This is why she was chosen, because we knew she would not give in or give up, no matter what. She does not in her human form know of that which we are to ask, yet in her light form with us, of course, she is aware. It would not be considered sensible for her to know now in her human form. We feel that this very helpful communication this day, and blessings to you who are the facilitator of such. We thank you for following our idea through, that we have solidified for Blossom, as she is known in many spheres, her trust in herself, which of course is trust in us, for it is the same. And she, in this space, is very well aware of that which we are saying to her, and she is saying to us, righty-ho, chaps.
Thank you. Would it be appropriate for me to continue to ask you some questions today about Blossom? Or would it be more appropriate for me to ask for you to recede and to bring forwards her higher self?
We would be more than happy to take a step back at this time, but we would also like to offer our gratitude to you. Many thanks for facilitating this state of play.
It is my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your wisdom, for your wise words, and for the absolutely incredible information and perspective that you have given us today. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know that Blossom does too. And now I am most gratefully and respectfully asking you to recede back to the space that you belong, with much love and much thanks.
Many thanks.
Many thank yous to you too. And I would like to ask into that space that the beautiful eagle and member of the Federation of Light has just departed from. I would like to ask for Blossom's own higher self to drop down into that space so that we may ask some more questions specifically about Blossom today. Am I speaking with Blossom's higher self today?
You are.
I recognize that beautiful tone. May I ask the higher self, what is Blossom's relationship with White Cloud? We've seen today that she is a part of the Federation, and that is where her relation to the Federation of Light comes from. But what about her relationship with White Cloud that we all know and love so well?
It is difficult for Blossom to understand sometimes in her human form that I am Blossom and she is me. This does not come as a great surprise to her in a sense, or to many, for it has been suggested before. Where she has the issue is the thought that she would be talking to herself when I am speaking through her, if that was the case. And she far prefers to have it that I am a separate energy, if you like, from her, because she, in her human form, uh, prefers it that I am, in order to relate in the way that we do with each other, to consider me as somebody else. Because for a long time, when I first was able to work with Blossom in this way, and it certainly has not been the only time in lifetimes that because we are each other, if you like. But it has needed the years that we have been working in this way to be able to come to the point that we have now, where I can easily just by the blink of an eye come and speak through, and Blossom, in her human perspective of all things strange, never questions her sanity, because she does not feel that that is the case, but she does question who we are in relation to each other, and therefore how it is that this I find a very important point, if I may, in that Blossom has a restriction that she has put upon herself, and she is nodding, in that because she has a concern, and the only way that I can put it is because Blossom puts this away but doesn't understand why she does. She has a concern that she will be found out in that, and she asks herself, find out what? That White Cloud is not real and that she is making it up. And although she knows that is not the case, she feels that at any given moment, if somebody was to ask a question, that if I was not able to answer it, then she would be considered a fraud. There are many goings on in Blossom's mind about that, and I would say very healthily that for those upon the planet now and of all times who are able to have another voice box, if you like, one is able to use the vessel, the voice box from elsewhere, they would understand completely also that there is this concern of of where it comes from in the brain, if you like. There's one moment, there's so much I want to say. It is all getting wrapped up in one ball of string. I just need to go to this side for one moment, because there are those that would go into trance, and their soul gives permission to leave for that time whilst another soul enters in and speaks. That is all given permission, etc., etc. So the owner of that physical vessel, when it is done, comes back in and has no idea what is being said. Blossom has many times wished that would be the case, because it leaves her out of the equation, whereas it is not to be like that for us, because we are it is not somebody, I am not somebody outside of Blossom's soul, if you see. I am not another soul coming in. I am the same soul
Yes.
coming in, and that is why Blossom is so conscious. Blossom is in this side talking to me, and I am in this side, and it is no easy task. People may think, oh, she just switches on, and there we go. Here is White Cloud. He talks as he does, and etc. It is as Blossom has learned over many, many years, it is an art form because there is no teacher. There's no one to say, this is how it works, this is what you do. Good, you have passed that exam, now you can go higher up. It is not of that. We have learned together to come across in the way we do. And I know, although it has been 20 years of me communicating in this way, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to fully mature this, I would use the word skill set. And it is the unknown, if you like. And Blossom is also has questioned as to whether she is me, I am her of the higher self. Because when I am present, she and many can experience the love and the passion that I am able to bring through her. But what she has to understand is that unless she was of that, I would say, caliber, that level of love would not be able to be experienced by others,
Yes.
because she would not be able to hold it and therefore send it out.
And it definitely is experienced by others. It comes across. It's so powerful when you communicate through Blossom. It is absolutely wonderful, that level of vibration. And it's so refreshing to experience it in this realm that we're in.
Thank you very much for that. While you have me here in this state, uh, I would like to make as much use of it as I can. And it is to say to Blossom that she knows that our mission here upon planet Earth is to introduce souls to themselves, to help souls remember who they are. And therefore, that is why when I come through in this way, that my choice of subject is love. I do not wish, and it would not be possible for me to answer questions on science or chemistry or geographical or anything of that nature, or I would even speak of numerical, because Blossom's mind at this time upon the planet in this lifetime is not geared, it is not wired for that. Blossom has a difficult time with numbers and anything of that factor, because Blossom's mind, her being is geared towards the arts, to the performance, to the expression of that which her soul is allowed to give out when she is in those performing situations. And she knows also, she has learned that through when she is doing that, then so much light can come from her to many that are perhaps watching that performance. So that is where Blossom's fear is, that perhaps a scientist would ask me, White Cloud, known as White Cloud, a scientific question. And Blossom's mind shuts down in panic. And
Yes.
I would not be able anyway to answer that, because Blossom's being is not wired in that way. So, and I do not choose. That is not why I choose to come through. Let, with the greatest respect, let those that need those kind of answers find the soul that can give it to them. Because Blossom and my agreement was to lead souls into their light once again, and to help them feel their light and to understand the power of love.
Absolutely. Thank you. I understand. Is there anything else that she needs to know about your relationship? We understand today that you are her higher self and that you are part of the same soul, and that's why you can come through so easily to her. And so she will understand that in a better way. But is there anything else that she needs to know about how your relationship works and how it could work better?
She just understood from me as you were speaking that she sometimes questions, because she is able to bring me through at the blink of an eye, should she be doing so on a more regular basis, for instance, every day, or more and more. And she wonders if she is not doing right by me by not doing so. And yet she got it in a moment that why sometimes we do have conversations if she is driving in the car, and we both speak out loud to each other. And we do have times on the beach like that, and we do have little moments for Blossom's amusement. But I need to say this quite clearly. I will finish first the fact that the reason it is not necessary, because we are each other. So why do I need to speak out loud? Why do we need to have conversations in that way? For we are one and the same, if you like. I desire, while I have this opportunity, to say that Blossom does not feel it correct to ask me things that she knows others would like to know the answers to. When she is by herself. And she is correct in doing that. A, she would not like an answer from me that she knows would not be correct to give out, and she would have to keep secret. And B, she just knows that it is not appropriate to have a little secret word with me on the quiet and say, just tell me, White Cloud, I won't tell anybody. But that is not of Blossom's nature. So as many people think that if they were in Blossom's situation, they would be talking with me all day long to find out this and to find out that, because they do not understand, because they feel there are never-ending questions to be asked universally. And indeed they are. But do you not see that Blossom's position, A, is not for that, and B, it would be very detrimental to her energy field, because you cannot work at that level all the time. And plus, I love to watch and be with Blossom when she is living her life, which she is here to do. It is not as some people think that when you can tune in to higher realms, we don't want to be on call 24/7. It is for you to live life while you are there. Not, this is important, not to ask questions all day long, not to want answers all day long. Live your life in joy. And the answers that you are looking for will come to you in the most, I don't know if this is the right word or if I can say it, prolific times. Stop asking these questions that you, in your human form, cannot quite get the answer to because they are too beyond your human comprehension. If you like, there are some questions that simply are not to be answered at this state of play, would I say.
Yes, thank you. And on that subject, she wanted to know a little bit more about her relationship with the Federation. We've seen today that she is part of the Federation, but there have been occasions throughout her earthly life as Blossom, as the person that she is focused on now, where she's been given information, certain timescales, certain dates, where things were going to happen, and those things haven't occurred. And she wants to know how she can then trust the information that comes through. What is she to do in that situation?
What can I say? If one was able to explain the complexity of, for example, telepathically communicating with beings from much higher realms. And when we say complexity, I also say simplicity. Yet how it is viewed and understood and known by the Federation of Light can only come through to blossom in the, would I say, English language form, which in itself, may I say, is a bit of a mess. In the sense that one would ask why I say that, but in the sense of there are such restrictions on trying to put into words that which those of much higher vibrations can transform into Blossom's mind, if that makes sense. So it is done the very best way by the Federation of Light and by Blossom. It is the best they are able to do under the circumstances. Blossom is sort of assisting here as well, saying, does she get in the way? Do her emotions and thoughts get in the way? And I am saying categorically no, which she is very happy to hear, because she wonders, as anyone does, doing what Blossom does, if her mind is interfering. And that is where Blossom's absolute desire for truth and only truth to be brought forth through her is so important and imperative. And so therefore, when there is something that is questioned or does not come about as said, automatically she is concerned that it is not of truth that she is bringing through. But I say now, in this given opportunity that I have in this moment, that although it may not appear to be to for that which is said to be exact in the form from where it comes, it is truth. Yet it is difficult to explain that if you are to imagine for a second every particle of energy that is involved to make that, would I say, prediction, if you like, precise, can be not misconstrued, but can be diverted at different energetical levels, so that it does not all come about as I say predicted into a future timeline, which is also the timeline of now as those messages come through.
Yes.
That is making sense to Blossom, and my only desire on this matter is for her to what is the expression not buckle up, but to one moment, please. I cannot find the expression, but and this session will help her enormously for her to fully recognize that, may I say, even now, Blossom is trying to prevent, in a sense, me saying this because of her desire not to come in any way from ego. So even in this, she is trying to say, no, there's no need to say that. But I am going to, in that Blossom has to understand her position more fully. And when she does so, she will let go and release any fears of where that message is coming from. Because she is also, like many, very aware that there is such things as mind control, and that certain information, if you like, can be put into one's mind. She is very aware of that, and that is where she has her issues of making sure there is no infiltration by the darker side. And I am here to say to her now that the light that she is, the being that she is and always will be protected there is a shield around her when these communications are taking place, and there has been a few times when that shield has dropped a little, and she was totally aware of it straight away and ceased the communications. That has happened maybe of 5 times, maybe, but for her to know, she has to know, she has to know within her light self that the task she accepted is highly protected. And for her, in that knowing, will take her up. It is, I show of an elevator, and it has just gone up many floors. To a place that she needs to open a door and step out into, to give her that strength and that confidence that what she is saying is going very much according to plan.
Yes. And she wanted to ask particularly about the date that she was given in 2008, October the 14th, and she was told that there would be a 3-day lightship show, and it didn't occur. She wanted to know a little bit more about what happened there. Did this go into a future timeline?
She was told by the Federation of Light after the event, not long after the event, exactly what took place. And it was that the Federation had told her, which is why she struggled, that everything was in place, that nothing could interfere, and it was all to go ahead. And if one was looking into it at that time, they would have seen much evidence of that. And yet it was that she was shown when making contact with the Federation again, a bit for the first time after this no-show, as it is called, and yet many upon the planet certainly got a spectacular show. But that they had to abort at the last minute because they were, if you like, they were given information that if that indeed was to take place, then there was full evidence that a particular button would be activated, which would destroy most of your planet. And that was something that they were not prepared to risk.
Yes.
As simple as that, as complex as that, Blossom sometimes believes it, sometimes doesn't. She is a bit like, it happened, it didn't happen, but it did happen. There was many particles to that entire time, and it raised, although there were so many that backlash to Blossom, if that is the right word, so many arrows thrown at her, yet it also raised the vibration of the planet at that time, and it also allowed for many souls to awaken, because back in those days, the fact of what one calls a UFO, if you like, was not discussed, because if you did, you were considered mad. Whereas it gave the opportunity, through the way it went viral, for many colleagues or friends or families to say, what do you think about this? And opened up the portal, if you like, for it to be spoken of in a far greater awareness. And indeed, no matter what people consider took place at that time or didn't, from there, many more thousands of souls have woken up into the light because of the messages of love that the Federation were then able to bring through, because it had also opened up a presentation of them for others to be aware of.
Yes. Thank you.
And yes, I know that Blossom knows, and she's nodding, on many other levels, no matter how it was played out in what you call your reality, that it was very necessary for that to anchor itself into uh, the planet Earth platform.
Absolutely. Thank you. And how can we help her to let go of that fear today of passing out that message of the Federation and it being wrong? How can we allow her to release that today?
To keep banging her on the head with a tennis racket. It is, she just has to let go of that concern of not bringing through the truth, because in our hearts, she and I desire more than we can express
Yes.
how much importance lies within truth. And she will, again, we say this session, and I now thank you, has helped her so much to step up a few of her rungs, if not more than a few, of her ladder to her rightful position.
I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for coming through today. I know she's going to be really, really happy. She wanted to know, what do you consider to be the brightest future that we have ahead of us right now?
Happiness. A happiness that is with you continually, not just at the child's birthday party, not just when you first fall in love, not just when you look at your newborn baby's face for the first time. 1,000 trillion scenarios of happiness and joy that one can experience intermittently at this point. Yet the bright future that lies ahead is to know and feel and experience being happy, being a happy being all the time, because one will be living in a world that is happy. All you need to do is recall a time when you knew of such happiness, a moment in time, and everybody has had that experience in one way or another. And visualize not just yourself, but everybody on the planet feeling that way too. That is the brightest future that I can visualize.
And what do you feel has to come to this planet in order for that to happen? How do we get there?
Awakened souls becoming aware of who they are. That is all it takes. It does not matter into what situation you were born. Some feel that others have more privileged lives. And yet in truth, each soul chose to be born into their current circumstance. We will not go greatly into that, for it can go on and on and on. And yet it is known that all one needs to do, no matter what they are confronted with, who they are confronted by, that when they know who they are, that they are nothing other than light having a human experience. That is what is needed, just to know who you are. And in doing so, you take one step at a time into a higher vibration, one step at a time. And within each vibration, there are many vibrations.
Yes.
Be at peace with your soul. And I understand, and so does Blossom, that in these times, right in the middle of these times, peace is not something that one feels they can find easily. But each and every soul can close their eyes. They can say, I am the light, I am the love, I am the truth, I am. And no matter what is going on or appears to be going on in the outside world, you are changing everything by that knowing of who you are. That is all you need to do. All you need to do is to do that and watch your world open up into the brighter side of itself.
Thank you so much, White Cloud, for your wisdom and your beautiful words. Thank